What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Game Day with Trey. Of course, this is your host, Trey, and today we're going to talk about this Sunday afternoon NFL matchup between the Cleveland Browns and the Washington Commanders. All right, so this game will be played October 6th, Sunday, 1 p.m. East Coast time in Landover, Maryland. All right, the odds right now is Washington -3. Over-under is at 43.5. There has been slight movement. The over-under was at 44 at one point in time. All right, so let's go ahead and let's look at this matchup between these two NFL teams. All right, so Cleveland's season kicked off with a tricky matchup between the versus Dallas Cowboys. That one ended with a 33-17 loss. All right, but the Browns won the next week with an 18-13 win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. And in Game 3, Cleveland fell again. This time it was 21-15 result versus the New York Giants. Last weekend versus the Raiders, the Browns took another loss, man. Cleveland was up 10-0 after the first quarter, but then gave up 20 unanswered points in the next two quarters during a 20-16 loss. Deshaun Watson posted 176 yards, one touchdown, and one interception, while Jerry Jeudy was tops in receiving on 6 catches for 72 yards. All right, in that actual game, guys, when they played the Raiders, okay, out there in Vegas, all right, when you look at just what they did statistically, okay, just keeping it simple, man. Deshaun Watson can't come out here and have a QBR of 36.4, and he can't have a passer rating of 84.9. He's got to do better than that. You can't get outdueled by Gardner Minshew, okay? That just should never happen, all right? I don't know what's been going on with this defense at all because, once again, you let Gardner Minshew put up 20 points on you guys, man. And you're the vaunted Cleveland Browns. Now, I understand and remember last season, Cleveland was a better defense at home than they were on the road. On the road, they were giving up a lot of points. But they also were dealing with a lot of injuries last season, man. In that game last week, Vegas outdid them 268 total yards to 241 total yards. Cleveland did win the time of possession battle at 30 minutes and 42 seconds to the Raiders 29 and 18 seconds. They both tied on turnovers 1-1, and the Raiders won the first down battle 17-16. On first down, Cleveland came out and passed the ball 9 times and ran the ball 6. Okay, whereas the Raiders, they passed the ball 7 times and ran the ball 8 times on first down, guys. Yeah, it was a messy game out there. Very, very messy game out there in Vegas, guys. All right, so when you look at the next team, man, Washington Commanders on the other side, they lost their opener versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 37-20. Okay, Washington came back with a couple of close wins in the next pair. The Commanders would take out the Giants 21-18, and then they would mollywop the Bengals 38-33 on Monday Night Football. Okay, so last week, what did the Commanders do? Did they take a step back? No, they didn't. Okay, the Commanders went out there and put out a 42-14 blowout victory. All right, yeah, Jaden Daniels is a dog. 233 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Okay, Brian Robinson Jr. posted 101 yards and a score to lead the team in rushing. Okay, when you look at what they did actually out there on the field, so Jaden Daniels was, like I said, he was 26 for 30 for 233 yards. He averaged 7.8 yards per pass. He had a QBR 89.4 and a passer rating of 96.3. All right, it took Brian Robinson Jr. 21 carries to get to that 101 yards, but he got there nonetheless. And Terry McLaurin, he had 7 receptions for 52 yards, guys. Whereas they allowed Kyler Murray, he only went 16 for 22 for 142 yards. They pretty much kept him in the box because he only carried the ball 1 time for 3 yards. James Conner did have 18 carries on 104 yards, and then Trey Benson also added in 9 carries on 50 yards. So it's not like they wasn't able to run the ball or do what they needed to do. They just couldn't keep up with what Washington was putting out there. Because in the first quarter it was 7-7. The second quarter Washington put up 10-0. So then they went up 17. Third quarter it was 10-7, and then the fourth quarter they put up 15 more points, man, for the blowout. There's no other way to explain it besides that. Total yards, Washington won that 449 to 296. Turnover battle was even. Washington did kill them on first downs, 29 first downs to 17 first downs, and Washington ran the time of possession 33 minutes and 22 seconds to 26 minutes and 38 seconds. On first down, Washington passed the ball 14 times and ran the ball 13 times, whereas the Cardinals on first down passed the ball 5 times and ran the ball 12. With the game script like that, with the scoreboard looking like that, it just didn't make a lot of sense. Okay? Don't know what Jonathan Gannon was thinking out there. Just my opinion. On third down, Commanders were 9 for 12, all right, versus the Cardinals only going 4 for 11 on third down, and that was the key to the game. All right, so looking at the injury report in this game and seeing who's going to actually be out there. We've got to start off with Cleveland, of course. Luke Whippler, he's still questionable dealing with the ankle injury. James Hudson III, he's still questionable dealing with the ankle injury. We got Michael Hall Jr., he's questionable with the neck injury. Up in there if he's going to participate. Jack Conklin, the tackle, he's questionable managing that knee injury. Unclear if he'll be out there. Jedrick Willis Jr., he's also questionable with the knee injury. He missed the previous 2 games due to that knee injury. So then those are like mostly offensive linemen that I just mentioned, guys. Then they got the backup center, Ethan Pocic. He's dealing with an ankle injury. Unknown if he'll be out there. DeJuan Jones, the tackle, he's questionable dealing with a knee injury. Don't know if he's going to be out there. Pierre Strong, he's dealing with the hamstring injury. Don't know what's going on with him. It's just a lot going on over there in Cleveland. And then when you look over to Washington, them young boys looking nice and healthy, man. Clelin Ferrell, he's questionable dealing with knee injury. And Austin Eckler, he's questionable dealing with the concussion. Outside of that, everybody else that's important going to be out there, man. And really doesn't have any question marks about what they plan on doing out there on the field. Okay, so when you're looking at these two teams, you got to start off now with the matchup, man. So Cleveland's only averaging 16.5 points per game. That's 27th in the NFL versus Washington only giving up 25.5 points per game. That's 25th worst in the NFL, guys. All right, when you're looking at yards per play, Cleveland's the worst in the NFL. They only get 3.9 yards per play, whereas Washington, they are the second worst defense in the NFL on yards per play. They give up 6.2 yards per play, guys. On third down, Cleveland's sorriest in the NFL. There's 20.75% of the time they convert on third down, but they're going against the sorriest defense in the NFL, all right? Because Washington allows you to convert on third down 54.76% of the time, and that's after holding Kyler Murray and them to 4 of 12 or whatever like that on third down. They still the worst in the NFL on third down. And then when you look in the red zone, Cleveland, if they get to the red zone, they're going to check that box, man. They're going to score 83.33% of the time, and Washington, if you get to the red zone, they're going to allow you to score 71.43% of the time. That's 27th worst in the NFL, guys. All right, so how does Washington win the games that they win? It's because their offense is like that with Jaden Daniels, man. Okay, because right now they averaging 30.3 points per game. That's the third best in the NFL. And Cleveland's defense, they're nowhere near what they usually are. They're giving up 21.8 points per game. That's 17th in the NFL. Washington also has the number 4 yards per play offense. They get 6.1 yards per play, and Cleveland only gives up 5. So they're the 9th best in the NFL. Third down, Washington converts 53.49% of the time. That's number 1 in the NFL, going against the number 7 total third down conversion defense in the NFL in Cleveland, who only allows you to convert 30.61% of the time. And then the red zone, Washington kind of struggles. They only score a touchdown 58.82% of the time. That's 15th best in the NFL. And they're going against a team who only allows you to score 58.33% of the time that you reach that red zone. All right, so how does Washington do against the run? They are the 31st worst team against the run, allowing teams to run 5.3 yards per rush. But Cleveland, man, they're 17th in the NFL, getting 4.3 yards per carry. So will they be able to exploit it? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, after all, Cleveland is only getting 94.8 yards per game on the ground. That's 26th in the NFL. They're going to need more from their running backs in order to compete in this game and going forward. All right, now Washington allows you to run 136.5 yards per game on the ground. So that's 23rd worst in the NFL. So there's definitely an opportunity for Cleveland to get a little bit better right there. But when you look on the inverse, when Washington runs the ball, they are the 6th best rushing offense in the NFL, man. They get 5.1 yards per carry. And Cleveland, they're going to give it up to you because they allow you to run 4.6 yards per rush. That's 22nd worst in the NFL. Then you look at rushing yards per game. Like Washington rushes 169.3 yards per game. And that's 3rd best in the NFL. Cleveland, they allow you to rush 123.3 yards per game. That's 19th worst in the NFL. So plenty of opportunity for Washington to run the ball all over this Cleveland defense, man, which will create a lot of opportunity for Jaden Daniels in the passing game, which is number 3 in the NFL because they're getting 8.5 yards per pass. He's completing 82.08%. That's number 1 in the NFL, guys. And but Cleveland, they only allow you to complete 58.68% of their passes, and they're only giving up 6.3 yards per passing play. So that is 2nd best against opposing quarterbacks in the NFL, and 8th best on the opposing quarterbacks' yards in the NFL, guys. All right, so what about on the inverse? What's Cleveland doing on passing the ball, man? They're 26th worst in the NFL on pass completion percentage, but they're going against the 27th worst pass completion percentage defense, man. Cleveland's only completing 61.49% of their passes, whereas Washington is allowing you to complete 72.03%. So there's plenty of opportunity for Deshaun Watson to get right because Washington's allowing 7.9 yards per pass. And the problem, though, is that Cleveland has the 31st worst passing offense yards per play in the NFL at only 4.9 yards per play. Yeah, that is horrid. I mean, that is just that's horrid. Look how far Deshaun Watson has fallen, man, in the last 3-4 years, man. That man used to be okay. Now, I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, so when you're looking at the stat splits in this current situation, at home, Washington's averaging 21 points per game and giving up 18 points per game. And on the road, Cleveland is only scoring 17 points per game and giving up 16.5 points per game, guys. In the last 3 games, Cleveland's only scored 16.3 points per game and they're giving up 18. And in the last 3 games, Washington is averaging 33.7 and giving up 21.7. All right, so there's definitely an opportunity for Cleveland to stay in this game for a little bit, but if they allow Washington to run the ball like that, then it's going to be a problem. It's definitely going to be a problem. They will not be able to stay in this game. Okay, situationally, when you're looking at these two teams, we all know that Cleveland's coming in this game 1-3, and Washington's coming in this game 3-1, straight up. Now, against the spread, Cleveland's still 1-3, and Washington is 3-1. As a favorite, Washington is 1-0, and as an underdog, Cleveland is 1-0. All right, as an away underdog, okay, Cleveland is 1-0. All right, and as a home favorite, Washington is 1-0 against the spread. So it's definitely opportunity for coverage here. Okay, when you're looking at over-unders, Cleveland's been 1 over, 3 unders, and Washington's been 3 overs and 1 under. So far this season, guys. And as a home team, Washington's 1 game did go under, and as an away team, both of Cleveland's away team games have gone under the total points line, guys. So it's definitely something for you to pay attention to, with definite opportunities there. All right, so looking at the last 10 times these teams have been out there, the Cleveland Browns are 5-5 in their last 10 games, 5-5 against the spread, and 6 to the over, 4 to the under in their last 10 They are on a 2-game losing streak as far as against the spread and straight up, and 3 straight unders so far this year. All right. Now, when we're looking at Washington's and Cleveland, by the way, the next 3 games. Next 3 games are against Philly, Cincinnati, and Baltimore, guys. All right, so they definitely do have something to look ahead to. Now, when we look at Washington is 3-7 straight up, 4-6 against the spread, and 7 to the over, 3 to the under in their last 10 games, guys. We all know they're on that 3-game heater, and they've had 2 straight overs in their last 2 games. Washington's next opponent is going to be Baltimore, Carolina, and Chicago. All right, so they also have a little something to look ahead to as well. All right, now head-to-head, Washington runs this 3-2 straight up, but Cleveland runs it against the spread 3-2, and it's been 3 overs and 2 unders in the last 5 times these teams matched up. They did play last year on January 1st. Washington was the home team, and Cleveland won 24-10. All right, Cleveland covered the 2.5 that they were getting, and it went under the 40.5 points, guys. All right, so when you're looking at these 2 teams and you're looking at the trends, Cleveland Browns have hit the first half game total over in 10 of their last 11 away games. Washington Commanders have covered the third quarter spread in 13 of their last 17 games. Washington Commanders have hit the first half game total over in 12 of their last 20 games, and the Cleveland Browns have hit the first quarter game total over in 13 of their last 21 games. The Cleveland Browns have hit the game total over in 9 of their last 11 away games, and the Washington Commanders have hit the second quarter game total over in 12 of their last 17 games. Cleveland Browns have hit third quarter game total over in 7 of their last 10 away games, and the Washington Commanders have hit the first quarter game total over in 7 of their last 8 games at home. Cleveland Browns have hit the second half game total over in 5 of their last 6 away games, and Washington Commanders have hit the third quarter money line in 9 of their last 17 games, guys. All right, so each of the Commanders' last 4 October games as home favorites have gone over the total points line, and 6 of the Browns' last 7 Sunday games as road underdogs have also gone over the total points line, guys. Seeing a little bit of a trend here. Okay, so Jaden Daniels has recorded 226 plus passing yards in each of the Commanders' last 3 games. Jaden Daniels has recorded 21 plus completions in each of the Commanders' last 3 games. All right, and Deshaun Watson has thrown 2 more touchdowns in each of his 5 previous appearances with his team as underdogs against NFC opponents. All right, Deshaun Watson also has recorded 239 plus passing yards in 9 of his last 10 October appearances, guys. And so on this one, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna stick with the Commanders, man. Washington's riding high after a nice road win last weekend. Granted, it was against a struggling Cardinals team, but the numbers were still nice. The Commanders posted 449 yards of offense, 216 rushing, 6.7 yards per play, 29 first downs, and a nice 9 of 12 rate on third down tries. As for Cleveland, they're putt-putting around, man. They're pretty much their defense is the only thing they got. Holding them, keeping them in games, man. But last week they gave up 268 yards, 116 passing, 4 of 12 on third down conversions. So the defense is playing pretty well, but the offense just can't get anything going, man. They can't find any success. They notched only 241 total yards. That's 149 passing yards, guys. 16 first downs and 3 of 10 on third downs. So this should be a comfortable home game, man. I gotta rock with the Commanders on this one. I would take Commanders minus the 3. I do also like the Commanders over the 21.5 points. That sings to me, guys. And that's all I got for now. If I find anything else, I'll post it post all my plays in the comments. Pin it to the top. Please like, share, subscribe. Have a blessed day. Stay safe, and I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace.